Hi guys, here's the memo for exercise 16.5, number 2DEF and 4BCD. Okay, so I'm working with trinomials, but before I can start working with these trinomials, I need to take out a highest common factor. The reason that I know that is because if you have a look at your x squared, there's a 2 in front of it, right? So usually the x squared has a coefficient of 1, and then you can just start working with the trinomial like normal. But in these cases, the coefficient in front of the x squared was a 2. Okay, and I can see that if I can divide all these terms through by 2. Okay, so that's what I start with. So at grade 9 level, if you see a number in front of the x squared, you'll always be able to divide through by that number. In grade 10, it gets a little bit more tricky, but we'll get there when we get there. Okay, so I'm going to first start by dividing through by 2. So I'm going to divide every single term by 2 and take it out as the highest common factor. Okay, so if I do that, this is what I get. So don't try and factorize the trinomial before you take out a highest common factor. First take out the highest common factor, then factorize what's left in the bracket using your trinomial method, right? Okay, so because my last term is a positive, in my brackets I'm either going to have 2 pluses or 2 minuses, and I know that I'm going to have to be adding my factors. Okay, so I read from the back of the trinomial, so factors of 1, that when I add them, I get negative 2. Okay, so factors of 1, that when I add them, I get 2. That'll be 1 and 1, but because it's a negative 2, I know it has to be a negative 1 and a negative 1 to make negative 2. E, again, the x squared has a number in front of it, a 3, so I'm going to divide through by that 3, and this is what I'm going to get. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, 24 divided by 3 is 8, and 48 divided by 3 is 16. Then again, I've got a positive last term, so I'm going to have either 2 pluses or 2 minuses in my bracket. Okay. Remember your trinomial, when you factorize it, the brackets always start with the same variable. Okay, so if this is an x squared, then it's going to be 2x's because x times x is x squared. If that was a y squared, you would start with y. Alright, so factors of 16, that when I add the 2 factors, I get 8. Okay, 16 and 1, that doesn't work. 2 and 8, that doesn't work. 4 and 4 works. And it has to be a positive 8, so it's going to be plus 4 gives me plus 8. I'm going to do the same thing for f, divide through by 2. So I take out a highest common factor. And this is what I've got in my brackets. Again, a positive last term, so either 2 pluses or minuses in my bracket. Factors of 36, so that's 1 and 36. 2 and 18. Factors of 36 that when I add them I get negative 12. Okay, or I get 12. So 1 and 36 doesn't work, 2 and 18 doesn't work, 6 and 6 works. 6 plus 6 is 12. But I need a negative 12, so I'm going to have minus 6 minus 6. Number 4b. Alright, 4b, again, there's a 3 in front of my x squared, so I'm going to divide through by that 3 by taking out a highest common factor. So there's my highest common factor there. You have to show that highest common factor. If you haven't shown it, then just write it in. Okay. Again, a positive last term, so either pluses or minuses. Both of the brackets need to have the same sign. Factors of 4, that when I add the 2 factors, I get 5, 4 and 1. Okay, so 4 plus 1 gives me 5. But it needs to be a negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to use my 2 negatives. So minus 4 minus 1 gives me minus 5. C, I'm going to divide through by 2 by taking out a highest common factor first. So I divide through by 2 and this is what I get. Okay, for once I've got a negative in my last term. So I'm not going to have 2 pluses or 2 minuses in my bracket. The one is going to be a positive bracket, the other one is going to be a negative bracket. Okay, so it's going to look like this, 1 plus 1 minus. Then I'm going to again read from the back, so factors of 10, that when I subtract the 2 factors, okay, so now I'm not adding the factors, I'm subtracting them. Factors of 10, that when I subtract the 2 factors, I get 3. 1 and 10 doesn't work. 2 and 5 works, right? 5 minus 2 gives me positive 3, so I can fill that in. 5 minus 2. And then D, I've just done it because we've done so many examples already, so I've divided through by my highest common factor, which is 2. I got left with this. Factors of 6, that when I add them, I get 5. 3 plus 2 gives me 5. Okay.